Hello, Libra, and welcome to your October 2021 reading. So, I'm going to be using a 3-card spread for this reading, indicating your most recent past, your present, and potential future outcome as we move out of October 2021 and into the remainder of the year, as well as into 2022. For this particular spread, I'm going to be using the Light Seers Tarot for each of those three cards, excuse me. And then I'm going to be clarifying each of those cards with the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. I do want to preface by saying that I have not used this deck enough to have memorized all of the cards and their energetic meanings. So there may be times that I have to look in the guidebook for definition, and would really love if you could be patient with me and understanding as I do that. All right, so let's jump right in and see what you guys have going on. Please, universe, spirit, guides, angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, what can you tell me about Libra's most recent past, please? What can you tell me about Libra's most recent past? There it is. Ooh, we have the Two of Cups for your most recent past. Okay, so this can be balancing opposing energies or duality, right? Or or balancing polarity. This can also be like lovers and soulmates and combining two into one type of energy, right? Wow, I like that. I'm kind of a little, and you know what I think is funny is you guys are Libra, the scales, and we have like two of these cups here, right? Kind of being equally balanced by both of these beings. So, you know, it's kind of like balancing those opposing energies. And even the hands here, there's one, you know, who's darker complected and one who's lighter complected, right? So definitely opposing energies and balancing those. But we'll get more clarity with the clarifiers because I'm so sorry that it appears to be like super dark. It's been very cloudy here, so I apologize. And what can you tell me about Libra's present, please, for October 2021? What is Libra going through at the present moment, please? What is Libra experiencing presently? Okay, the Wheel. Right? So this could be a lucky break. This can be like the wheel turning, the wheel of fate changes. This could be cycling through karma, like karmic cycles, right? Going through karmic cycles. Okay. I really hope that it's like a lucky break because with the energy that everybody's been experiencing lately, I feel like we could all use a lucky break of sorts. So, and what can you tell me about the potential future outcome for Libra, please? It's the potential future outcome. Thank you. Over here, the Queen of Wands. You guys, this card keeps showing up over and over and over again. Not just in my like daily readings that I do for my members, but also in these Zodiac readings as well. So I feel like there's a lot here about really being confident, right? Really discovering. And it's weird because, again, like the Queen of Wands is this representation of confidence, joy, bold expression. This is somebody who, you know, helps others while they build their queendom. This, you know, it's fire energy as well. So you're thinking, you know, creativity and passion, that sort of thing. But this Queen of Wands, like, she knows her shit. She's, you know, and by knows her shit, I mean she knows herself, right? And so I do want to share, even if you're a male, this can be your energy. We all possess both masculine and feminine energy within us, and many times are out of balance, so we're kind of leaning more towards one or the other. So you can absolutely be a male in a Queen of Wands energy, okay? Wow. I like this so far. At the bottom of the deck for you, Libra, we have the Temperance card, which does talk, is another card that talks about balancing, opposing or balancing duality, right? Really, we have the sun and the moon there, like opposites, right? Being the alchemist, really bringing stuff into balance. And this is also about purpose and patience as well. So it'll be interesting to see how this card plays into what's beneath the surface, right? And I think that's how I'm going to just start referring to this, because at the bottom of the deck, typically we find the representation, right, of what's hidden or what's unexpected or unseen. And I think I'm just going to call it like what's beneath the surface, this right here. All right. Yeah, that was just a me moment. So have fun with that. Let's jump in and figure out why we have this Two of Cups in your most recent past. What can you tell me, please, universe, spirits, guides, angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, about Libra's most recent past with this Two of Cups? Too many. What can you tell me about Libra's most recent past and this Two of Cups? The Camel. God, this keeps coming out too. And I swear to y'all, I'm shuffling. I'll spend like 10, 15 minutes shuffling before I even start recording between each sign, right? And I do all the things to try to, really release that energy and step into the energy of the sign I'm doing next. But there's several cards that keep repeating, and I feel like that's because we are collectively experiencing similar things, but in different areas of our lives and at slightly different times, right? Depending on where we're at in our journey. For example, the Queen of Wands with the Camel was out in the first position here for Virgo, I believe it was just recently. And so, now here we have the Camel clarifying the Two of Cups, but, we have the Queen of Wands over here. So just, that's what I mean by, different stages and in different places of life. I feel like we're all kind of experiencing similar things that we're dealing with. So interesting, because the Two of Cups does talk about that balance, and the Camel is a representation of balancing the energy of fire and water. All right, which is also fascinating because we have cups here, which represent water, and wands here at the end that represent fire, one on either side of this wheel here. So I just find that kind of fascinating. Little things I like to point out during my readings. If they stick out to me, then I share them with you. So let's talk a little bit about this Two of Cups and this Camel energy. Well, actually, you know what? Pause, because I'm going to go ahead and get out the rest of the cards so we don't have to worry about timing there. All right, so let's see. Why do we have the wheel in the present position for Libra in the month of October 2021, please? Too many. Why do we have the wheel, please? There it is. The Tarantula. Okay. I have seen this card before, but I do believe it has some, what's the word I'm looking for, please? Correlation or connection with life purpose. So that's interesting that it would be underneath the wheel there. I also find it fascinating that they're of similar color, right? The wheel is actually red and orange and white, and then we have those same colors here on the Tarantula card. So I find that kind of fascinating. All right, and why the Queen of Wands for the potential future outcome, please? Why the Queen of Wands? There she is. The owl is here to clarify this Queen of Wands. Don't know much about that card. I have only seen it maybe one other time. So I definitely am going to have to refer to the book today, but I like this energy so far. We also have the lizard at the what is hidden beneath the surface at the animal spirit level, or from the animal spirit deck. It's a weird way to word things. Okay, so again, let me get this camel pulled up in the book here. All right, so in your most recent past, we have this Two of Cups, which is it talks about soulmates and friendships, connected hearts, that type of thing, connection and cooperation, right? Union. This card can also signify marriage, for, at some points. And it does also represent that duality, right, that I was talking about. And I always see it that way because we have these two different beings, people, right, in this card that are holding hands and filling each other's cups, right? So I do see it as duality a lot of the time, but it does represent that unity, right? Because they are different, duality opposites, but they are coming together, right? So it does represent unity in that sense. Let's talk about the camel before we dive a little bit deeper, because these cards here tell us why these cards have shown up for you, my dear Libras. All right, so this camel card is about being resourceful and independent, and is about really knowing oneself. The camel can handle absolutely anything as it carries a wealth of nourishment within. This wondrous creature is self-reliant and handles challenge with ease, even in the face of excess heat in the form of judgment or anger. The camel searches inside for the cool elixir of water to calm the situation. The camel represents the ultimate form of bringing opposites into balance, fire and water, and being responsible for one's own reactions. The camel is a wonderful traveler and is especially fond of trips to faraway lands. Okay, so for some, I don't know, I feel like some of you Libras in the most recent past may have gotten married. I don't know why I'm getting that, but I don't think that that's, obviously it's not for everyone. I don't think that every Libra who, sees this reading is going to have recently just gotten married. I feel like that's for some. And, I feel like that probably came with this discovery of self, right? Really knowing who you are, and being independent on your own, and then coming and joining into connection, into love, right? Into communion, or what have you, with another person. But for the rest of you who haven't, in your most recent past, I really feel like this is about balance, right? This is really about that balance, because we have here as a clarifier the camel, which again is that representation of balancing fire and water. And the camel walks through the desert, fire, but it holds within it the water it needs, right? So really again about knowing oneself and having those resources within, right? And understanding that. And I feel like here, it's a very similar type of energy where we are essentially experiencing duality. And what I also find fascinating, and this has happened with every time this card has come out, nearly, or at least the most recent ones, where the camel is representation of the element fire, and it's it's clarifying a water, right? So it's literally like talking about exactly what the card talks about, right? Fire, water. And I feel like we're learning how to balance and come into union with self. I really feel like that's what this is about. Coming into union with self and balancing those opposing energies of the emotion, right? Cups are emotion, love, depth, like soul depth. That's kind of how I see the cups suit in the tarot. And then you have your fire that's more connected with spirituality, creativity, and passion, right? When you think about where creativity comes from, a lot of times it comes from somewhere within your spirit, right? There's something within you that's triggered, and it's like, oh, yes, that's what I need to do, right? That's kind of how those moments of inspiration and creativity come through. So I really feel like this is about balancing both of these energies. And I think fascinatingly enough, Libra with the scales, I mean, it's like the epitome of your sign, right? Is balancing, trying to, at least based on the, representation of the scales being there for Libra, so I really feel like in the most recent past, you may have been able to find that balance, right? Between your emotions, the depths of your soul, what you experience on that level, and what you are passionate about, right? What ignites your soul, what makes you feel good, um what makes you, or sparks creativity within you. I feel like we're starting to find a balance there. um because I'm just being shown this card in a way of like, because the cups aren't like full and the waters are no longer flowing from those people, right? I feel like we're in this process. I don't feel like it's been complete. I don't feel like we've achieved balance, but I do feel like it's something we're working on. And I feel like, I feel like we're learning to lead with love of self. And what I mean, I don't mean love of self of like, oh, I'm going to take care of myself and have a nice bath or eat well. That's not what I mean. What I mean is like love of self of like, this is what I'm passionate about. This is what I love, what I really enjoy, what brings me happiness. So I'm going to do that because it is a form of self-care. It is a form of self-love, and I'm going to show myself that, right? I feel like it's a balance between those two things, and um really discovering how much you can thrive in that union, right? It's so crazy because a lot of times I feel this particular card, and the definition speaks it for, speaks about it being this card of, coming into like community, right? Soulmates or friends or what have you, having those close connections. But in this case today, intuitively, I'm really picking up that this is more about union of self, uniting those opposing dualities within self, and allowing them to just be what they are, right? Like, this is just me, like this is just who I am. And I'm learning to love that. I'm learning to appreciate that. I'm learning to be able to move through who I am and how I respond to the world, right? Like, I just feel like it's like that self-discovery. Like, I'm here, I'm learning, but I'm uniting all of these fractals of who I am into one being that I feel good about. That's, I don't know. You tell me, Libra, it's your story, right? You tell me if that resonates with you. So in your present moment, right? So as we move through October, we have the wheel showing up for you, which is being clarified by the Tarantula. So let me just flip a couple of pages because I don't think it's too far off. They are both fire energies here. Although they do like to hide from me. I feel like the pages like stick together and everything, and I'm like, ah. Okay. The wheel and the tarantula. So let's talk about this wheel for a moment. First of all, the wheel is a representation. She's got the dice on her neck. It can be luck, right? Like a lucky break type of thing. But it's also about changes, fate, destiny, right? Cycling through those karmic lessons, a turning point, can also be representation of the chaos and creation, right? If you think about when we create things about, and it doesn't necessarily have to be um something, how the analogy that I'm looking at and that's being shown to me in my head is like, if you build a business, there's chaos that's created in that, even if you don't see it, even if it is not chaos when it arrives to you, if that makes sense. For example, if you're building a building, let's say you need wood, right, to create the framework for this building. What has to happen for that wood to be delivered to you in, I don't know, whatever measurement you need in your 4x4 piece, or your 2x4, or whatever, right? How does that, what happens to that wood before it's delivered to you in the medium that you need it in, right? What happens? Trees are cut down. There's destruction, right? Chaos. There's a lot of things that had to happen for that wood to be delivered to you so that you can build a building. So think about the chaos and creation in that way. Excuse me, right? It's you might not even realize the chaos that's created, right? The chaos that ensues in order for creation to occur. You may not even think about that. And you can take this down, Libra, to something as simple as, say you like to paint. Think about the chaos that went into the creation for the materials for you to be able to do that, right? There's wood, let's say, for your paintbrush handles that had to be cut down. There's canvas that had to come from somewhere. The wood that that the canvas is stretched on so that you could hang it on your wall, that had to come from somewhere, right? So just an interesting perspective to think about when we're looking at this wheel. And the reason, we have the wheel here is this tarantula energy, right? It's clarifying the wheel for us. The tarantula represents being at a crossroads and, like I was talking about earlier, claiming life's purpose. The tarantula represents a moment when a great decision must be made. It involves prioritizing your life's deeper purpose or dharma. A habit or routine from the past is sidetracking you from your dream. Yet a voice inside keeps begging you to refocus your attention. In order to find true happiness, you must choose dharma. Until you do, satisfaction will be fleeting. The tarantula hovers, patient and calm, like an old friend that knows your inner soul. It already knows you'll choose wisely. Okay, so here's what's fascinating, right? So the tarantula tells us why the wheel is here. Why are these changes taking place, right? Or why is the wheel turning? What's that about? What's going on? And I really feel here that in our most recent past, right, we may have married those opposing or brought into union those opposing or those dualistic sides of ourself, those fractals of ourself that are, they're different, right? We may have started to really kind of glue the pieces of ourselves back together, if you will. And that what happens a lot of times is like new level, new devil. I feel like I'm a broken record in these readings because I feel like everyone is going through this at some level of their journey. But we come to this new level, new devil space where we find and uncover certain things, and then there's another layer there, right, that we have to address. And I feel like the tarantula showing up is because we've arrived at that space, right? We've arrived at this space of this crossroads, and that's why it's showing up, right? I feel like, here we talk about life's deeper purpose or dharma, and the wheel talks about fate and destiny, right? So you're like, the way I'm seeing it is like the tarantula showing up because, it's time for us to get into alignment with our destiny, with our fate. It's time for us to stop hesitating and to just really move forward with what it is we desire, what it is we need, what it is we want, how we want this life and this experience to look and feel. So, I feel like the wheel is here because I do feel like things are changing. I really do. Libra, I feel like it may have been very, very uncomfortable to recognize our own duality and to bring that together, to glue those pieces, right? It takes a lot to really be accepting of self. It takes a lot to really love self. It takes a lot to really understand the dynamic between all of the different fractals that make up who you are. Okay, so that can be very hard. And in doing that, you might find things out, or might have found out things about yourself that kind of push you in this new direction. And you come to this space, right? Say you've learned all these things about yourself through this marriage of all of these different fractals of who you are. You've learned, and now you come to this space, and it's like, okay, I thought I knew where I was going. I thought I knew what I wanted, but now I'm not so sure. Right? Maybe you're somebody who's like, oh yeah, I totally want to work in a law firm. And you've done that. You've achieved it. You're successful. Maybe, you're very good at it. Right? And now you're here and it's like, I feel so fucking uncomfortable in this job. Right? And that could be like the wheel is turning, because that job at that law firm, as good as you are at it, is not what you're meant to be doing. It doesn't align with your life's purpose. It doesn't align with that dharma, right? And so I feel like what's showing up in the present moment, which makes sense to be at a crossroads, at a turning point right now anyways, Libra. We are in a Mercury retrograde, which means a lot of shit tends to get stirred up and brought to the surface so we can deal with it, especially in, as it pertains to our past and things we've experienced already. So, I'm getting this feeling of we've come to this new space and now need to, let go of these things that aren't serving us and really align with what, our purpose is, why we're here, so that we can feel fulfilled. Because really, I mean, you can be very, very good at something. You can enjoy it. You can even love it. But if it's not your purpose, it is not going to fulfill you the same way. There's always going to feel like there's that something missing, right? That there's just, and I feel like it would be difficult to put your finger on, because as somebody who's, potentially successful in what their chosen profession would be, let's say, and then, feeling called to, I don't know, freaking make lawn art. We'll throw it out there as something, let's say you feel called to do lawn art. There could be a huge, crossroads that you reach there. Like, wait a minute. Like, I'm really good at this. I get paid good money. Like, maybe this is something outside of myself that I'm, need to fulfill. So maybe, you buy a bunch of shit, or you go on vacation, or I don't know, whatever the hell, trying to fill this little something that just doesn't sit right. When in reality, even though you're super successful, it works out for you in this particular profession, what your soul really wants is to fucking make lawn art. And so your soul is going to cry out for that until it can do that. Right? So you're always going to feel like there's something missing. So I get this sense of really coming to this crossroads, and you're at this point now where the wheel is turning, or could potentially turn, right? Because there's a decision that needs to be made about how you want your future to look, what that feels like to you, and where you're going, and how that aligns with who you truly are, and keeping that in balance, right? That felt, I don't know, that just felt like I just had a whole, like, something come into me and be like, boom, 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 here it is, and I'm out. That is such an interesting energy as a reader. Wow. All right, so let's talk about this future position with the Queen of Wands being clarified by the Owl. Because I think it's important to take a gander at how this can play out. Depending on what we choose, right? If we choose to align with self, if we choose, what will that look like? All right. So again, the Queen of Wands is here, which is that representation of confidence, power, joy, bold expression. This is somebody who doesn't hold shit back. This is somebody like, this is who I am. Wham, bam, thank you, man. Come again when you're ready for more. But I'm not changing. If you like me as I am, cool. If not, bye. Like, this is, the Queen of Wands is like that. I don't need you to tell me who I am, because I know. Which is funny because it's very fire energy. And as a Leo, I can relate to that hardcore. So, you know, I just feel like there's, you know, the potential outcome here is this, like, I know me. Like, you don't know me, I know me. Come at me with something, say something, try to tell me who I am, because it's not happening, especially because we have this Two of Cups. And again, it's intuitively coming through to me as this marriage of fractals of self, or this union of self. And so coming into that and then going through this experience with a change in the wheel where life's, like, you come to this crossroads, discovers life's purpose, and changes your destiny and your fate into something, I don't want to say changes, because I think we all come here with a plan, but I think it, you know, kind of turns your world on its head and is like, okay, now we're aligned with fate. Now we're aligned with our destiny. Now we're aligned with our dharma. Fucking watch me now. Crazy. Like, I feel like this is like, if you can get through this energy feels very powerful to me, as, you know, coming from an individual perspective, and the energy, how I'm picking up, is very much like J-Lo stepping on the stage. You ain't gonna tell me nothing. Right? Like, you're not going to tell me I'm too old. Watch. You're not going to tell me I can't sing. Watch. You're not going to tell me I can't rock this outfit. Watch. Type of energy. So let's talk about her, the Queen of Wands. Why is she here? Well, the owl's here. The owl represents abundance, clairvoyance, and treasure. The owl is a mysterious and otherworldly creature found in folklore from east to west. The white owl in this particular deck is the companion of the goddess Lakshmi and represents wealth, beauty, and good fortune. What the fuck did I just say? You guys. I mean, you can't make it up. You can't make it up. All right, so when the owl card appears, it's an omen that a boon or treasure is on the way, either in spiritual or material form. With owl wisdom on your side, you'll see and know exactly what to do with this boon, how it can further serve your dharma, there's that word again, and bring abundance to the world. Trust that the wellspring of treasures is infinite. Okay? So why is the Queen of Wands here? You know, why is she showing up for our potential future outcome? Well, here, in plain English, black and white, if you choose you, right? Because I feel like the Queen of Wands is somebody who's confident, who knows herself and will choose herself every fucking time, right? So I feel like if you can, you know, come to this crossroads, whether you've already done this in your present moment or it's coming for you, if you can come to this crossroads and really step into your life's purpose or dharma and, you know, essentially turn that wheel so things really kick in or are more in alignment with your purpose, the end result, fucking treasure. It's treasure. Abundance, right? So like I was saying, like completely turning your reality on its head into something different, something that you may not have experienced before at that level. And, you know, the owl is like telling us why that Queen of Wands is here. Like, you know, what is the potential outcome? The potential outcome, I feel, is abundance. And when you think of the Queen of Wands in regards to abundance, you reference that to abundance of confidence, of joy, of bliss, of power, of bold expression, right? Of harnessing, you know, all of these incredible, amazing things that you have within you that you can share with the world. And that is what I feel is coming, right? Your future potential outcome is having this abundance of confidence and power, building your queendom, right? And helping others along the way. So, you know, I just really feel that this is like, ooh, like, I'm so excited for you, Libra. For real. Because again, this owl talks about abundance and treasures, and you even have the fucking wheel, which has the dice, which is the lucky break. And the Queen of Wands talking about power and confidence and joy and bliss. So what's going to happen if you choose your life purpose now? Are you going to do it? Are you going to choose it? And pardon me, I had to take a drink real quick because I was not going to be able to keep talking if I didn't. So, I mean, this is beautiful energy, Libra. I mean, if this was my reading, I'd be like, hell yes. I'm sure there's some complications. I'm sure there's some rough things that are going to come up, but I'm ready because the end result is where I want to be. All right, so at the bottom of the deck, right, what's beneath the surface? We have the lizard stepping out here for us from the animal spirit deck. So let's see what this is about. The animal, or the lizard, excuse me, is a representation of an energy that is instinctual, sensitive to the subtle, and a dreamer. The lizard is an expert in the realm of sensory perception. As if it has a sixth sense, the lizard hears what is yet to be spoken and sees what is yet to manifest. Although this is an amazing gift, it can easily wear the lizard down. Big crowds, lots of travel, or overstimulation will drain a lizard of their magical essence. This card is an indication to pull back from the bright lights and big city and return to the inner artist who's been whispering your name. All right, so here's what I want to share with you about this lizard energy, right? So what's beneath the surface here, I feel, is, this says here, this is an indication to pull back from the bright lights in big city, right? What was I just talking about? Being in this, and it was just an example, right? Maybe you have a job at a law firm and make a lot of money and are successful. I mean, this is kind of the epitome of that analogy, right? Because if you work at a law firm, but what you really want to do is fucking lawn art, right? Like, that is about returning to that inner artist. That's about answering that calling, right? So, even though it talks about a big city and then returning to, or excuse me, it talks about pulling back from the bright lights in big city. I feel like in this reading, this is about pulling back from those things, because I get the feeling of like, almost like you, how do I word this? Maybe as a child, Libra, you saw somebody in a movie who was a lawyer and it was like glitzy and glam, and you're like, yes, that's the life I want, right? It's like glitters and gold, like, look at me, come here, do this, right, type of energy. And now I feel like you're discovering self, and really learning how to acknowledge and understand the different fractals of who you are. I feel like what's beneath the surface is, that there needs to be that pullback. There needs to be that introspection of self, and really really stepping into the dreams that you want to achieve, what feels good for you, what calls and pulls to you, right? The dreamer in you, what is that? Again, so, here's the thing, guys, like, you can't make this shit up. And I was just talking, this wheel, this crossroads, that's where I feel this lizard energy is coming in. Like that crossroads, what's beneath the surface, that crossroads beneath the surface is you choosing to, is deciding, am I going to continue to sit here in the big city lights in this amazing law firm, 6-figure successful job that I like but isn't fulfilling? Or am I going to quit and do lawn art because that's what really makes me happy? Right? And it's interesting because I'm going to take it just a step further and share with you that when out of balance, this energy is elusive, non-committal, and flaky. So again, I feel like somebody some of you Libras could have got married, and that could have been because this energy was out of, or, came into balance, right? So then you are able to commit. Then to bring it into balance, right? As far as, I know that was a little side story. That was purely intuitive, the whole marriage and non-committal thing, by the way. But to bring it to balance, it says here a creative project. And when in balance, this energy is artistic, telepathic, and spiritual. Okay. So, I wanted to really share that with you because I feel like it really drives home that point. It really drives home that, tuning into self, right? And really, deciding what path is for you, right? The big city lights, or, really stepping back into that artistic nature, and really pursuing and following what lights you up, what makes you dream, what's a whispering and calling out to you, right? Because it does talk about, again, that expert in the realm of sensory perception, as if it hears what is yet to be spoken, right? So you hear it like it's tugging at your soul, but it's not something somebody said to you, right? And then, at the bottom of the tarot, we have this Temperance card here, which is, again, another nod, or talks about blending energies, harmony, and alchemy, right? So you become the alchemist. You really learn how to transmute energies and balance them out. And then this is also your card about purpose. For example, there's like little mantras in the guidebook for this deck. And for this particular card, it says, I walk the middle path and nourish my spiritual wholeness. Right? So, I feel like there's a lot here beneath the surface about balance and finding that within self. But I feel like that balance is found through really, what's the word I'm looking for, please? The balance is found through taking a step back, right? Through gaining perspective and aligning with purpose, right? I feel like all of this is focused, your reading, Libra, is focused on that purpose for you, right? Because even the lizard talks about dreamer energy. So I feel like this is all about purpose, and then we have Dharma mentioned several times, right? And life purpose mentioned several times. So I feel like for you, Libra, if this resonates with you, that October is your month of really we're just turning the wheel, buddy. And then, I feel like from October on, moving into the future, there is a great potential. So it's a super auspicious time to really step into who you are. And with Mercury retrograde here, I feel like it's going to really show you things that aren't working with you and your life purpose anymore. I feel like you've probably seen that, Libra. I don't know why, but I do. So anyways, I really hope that you've enjoyed this, or at the very least, it's been a little bit entertaining. I hope it's given you maybe some perspective on, how you can move through the month of October and beyond. And I hope that you figure out what this purpose is for you, because from what I can see, if you do, there are nothing but bigger and better things coming. In the meantime, sending you so much love, tons of hugs. Take care of your beautiful, beautiful soul, and I will see you all again on the next one. Bye.